I think we were talking about T codes, some of the T codes.
T codes, some of the T codes, right?
Yeah,
So,
very much.
Mm.
hmm. So basically, we are looking into some of the screens, how the shortcuts will work, or how you can um, use some of the shortcuts. Okay, so first thing is a /n. Okay, so let's say here I have added something on the favorites, so you can also add something on the favorites. So favorites is basically needed for the end users. Okay, so let's say I'm an end user, I'm daily I'm performing these kind of things. Let's say purchase order, I'm creating a purchase order, or I'm changing a purchase order, or let's say I am creating a purchase requisition, or I'm creating a material master. So daily it is like, uh, let's say you don't remember the T code for the first time. Okay, let's say you are starting your job and you don't know the T code, or maybe you cannot um, remember the T code or something like that. Okay, let's say for those period of time you can use the favorites. So favorites also, this can be copied and this can be maintained. Okay, so the basis person who is creating the user profiles, they can add something to the favorites so that users can use it easily. Okay, so now to create this ME21, to create a purchase order, I can go here. Okay, now from here, if I want to go to a new screen, let's say I will go to the create material master. So I will hit /n mm 01. MM 01 is the transaction. I will add /n. Otherwise, if I don't add this /n, it will not move the screen, or it will not change the screen. If I click on /n mm 01, it will take me to a new screen of create material master. Now it is create purchase order. Now it is create material master. On the same screen, you can see there is only one screen is there. On the same screen, it is changing the transactions. If I click on /o me21n, it will create a new screen. It will open the new transaction in a new screen, not in the same screen. So if I click on /o mm me21n, now you can say, now you can see this is the create purchase order, and now you can see there are two screens are there. One is for create material, one is for create purchase order. Now if you click on /I, it will end your screen. Okay, now you can see there is only one screen where we can see create material. Now from here, if you want to go to main screen, you can hit /n, and it will exit from the screen, or it will go to the main screen. Okay, now from here, if you again click on /I, it will take you to the log off. So now this is asking you, do you want to log off? Okay, if you click on no, it will not log off. If you click on yes, it will log off. Okay, so in this case, if you have any sort of, let's say, unsaved work, it will ask you, do you want to save your work or something, it will ask you. Okay, so right now, let's say I'll not want to log off. Now next one is /nex. Okay, /nex is basically, if you are in any screen, let's say uh, I'm in this screen. Okay, you are in any screen and you want to exit without any information. Let's say I will add, okay, let's say I will add 1287, or I will add something I have add. If I click on this exit button, it will ask me to, do you want to save this document? Okay, if I want to exit from here, it will ask me, do you want to save this document? Okay, so now, but if I click on /nex, it will not ask me anything, rather it will log off. Okay, so if you are in somewhere else and you don't know what to do, so you can directly click on /nex and you can exit from the system. Okay, so that is a simplest way. Now, from here, there are two types of work are there. We have already discussed about it. One is a consultant work and one is a your end user work. Okay. So if I minimize this one, here you can see there is a SAP menu is there. Okay. So most of the things you can find from here is a end users work, or what is a transactional data we can create from here. So these are different departments are there. Here you can see the office, here you can see the cross application components, here you can see the collaboration project. This is for the logistics, this is for the accounting, this is for the human resource, this is for information system, and this is for tools. So basically this logistics is required for our MM side. Logistics is required. Okay, so if you expand these nodes, you can see in the logistics you can find material management, sales and distribution, logistics execution, production process, plant maintenance, customer service, quality management, so logistics controlling, project systems, GTS, compensation systems, agency business, environment, central function. So these are the logistics functions are there. So these, with this logistics department, MMSD, logistics execution, production process, these people can work on, these people can find their work from these nodes. Okay, so let's say you are from material management, you can expand this one. Here you can have this purchasing, inventory management, excise duty, logistics invoice verification, physical inventory, valuation, MRP, service and receipt, service master, foreign trade custom, material master, product catalog. So these are the uses of material management. Similarly, if you are from sales and distribution, here you can see sales and distribution master data, sales support, pendulum list, indirect sales, shipping and transportation, billing, empties management, credit management. So these are the things are there which the sales side people can do. Okay, so these are basically the front end of the software. Okay, this is the front end of the software where you can manage the creation of master data. Okay, sorry, creation of the transactional data. You can create something. If you want to create something, you can create it from here. So these tools is basically required for the ABAPer. Okay, if you click on this, you can see the ABAP related. Mostly here you can see the ABAP related things. Okay, so now for our SAP consultant, there is a back end screen is there. So this is the front end screen. From the front end screen, you can create some transactions. Okay, how you can create some transaction will eventually we will be looking into it. Okay, so now for the let's say consultant, before you are using this thing, let's say right now if you want to go to use any of these things, let's say I will go to purchase or purchasing, I will go to purchase order, and I will go to create purchase order. Here you can see ME21N is the vendor or supplying plant is known. Okay, so before going to create a purchase order, there are some settings are required which needs to be maintained by the consultant before the end users will start using this, or before the end users are starting the start to create a purchase order, or to let's say purchase requisition, or anything they want to create. Before that one, consultant need to configure something from it. Okay, so they need to configure something in the background so that they can be using. Okay, what are the configuration? So in details we will be looking into it in the coming classes, but right now let's say there will be a number will be there, right? So there will be some number ranges will be there where you can save a purchasing order. You can see a number over there. So this is the purchase order number. There will be some document type will be there, what kind of document type and all we will be looking into it in the coming classes in detail, in depth we will be looking into it. So let's say there are some configurations are there, so where that configuration will be done, so that configuration will be done in the customizing. So here you can see there is a customizing is there. If you expand this one, there is a IMG is there. So this is IMG means the implementation guide. Okay, here you can see SPRO screen is there. So SPRO is the execute project. So if you directly click on SPRO from here, you can go to the screen, or you can come through this node. Okay, or you can come through this node, tools, customizing, IMG, SPRO. Okay, so right now it is little bit of confusing, maybe little bit of confusing, but once you are using the system, you will be habituated and you will be remembering all the T codes that is required. Okay, so if you come to SPRO, it will take you this screen. If you click on this SAP reference IMG, it will take you to a new screen. Okay, now you can see SAP customizing implementation guide screen is there. Now you can see a new setup screen. Okay. Now you can see a new setup screen. Okay. So now you can see this is the front end screen where you can see the SAP menu, and this is the back end screen where you can see the SAP customizing implementation guide. Now here also you can see the same things what you have seen in the main from the main screen or from the front end, whatever things you have seen, it is containing all of these things here also. So here you can see the financial accounting, here you can see the financial accounting, here you can see the logistics general. There we have seen the logistics, right? So here you can see the logistics general, here you can see the material management, here you can see the logistics execution, quality management, here you can see the production, here you can see the sales and distribution. So every node is there. Okay, every department node is there. So now here if you expand, so here in the material management, if we expand, so here you can also see the purchasing section is there. So if you expand, now here also you can see there is purchase order is there. Okay, now if you expand this one, now it will not allow, or it is not having any node to create a purchase order. This is rather to configure the purchase order. So here inside the purchase order, what I have said you, number ranges. So here you can see define number ranges. So I can define some number ranges for the purchase order. Define document type. So here I can define some document type for the purchase order. So here there is some tolerance limit, release procedure, screen layout, text for purchase order, tolerance limit for archiving, stock transfer order. So there are different kinds of settings are there which we can configure in the customizing screen or in the SPRO screen. So basically most of the time or some point of time, so normally here this screen access will be there only for the consultant. There will be no access for this screen, means the SPRO access will not be there for the end users or super users or whatever users will be there in the business side or from the client side. They will not be having the access to this screen. So only consultant will have the access to this screen, and once these consultant or once the consultants, they will be defining or they will be configuring the system, after that only end users or super users, they will be using the SAP system, and they can be able to create the transactional data. Okay, so first thing, consultant will configure the system, then the end users will access the system to create any kind of data. They can create transactional data or master data, they can create it from the first screen. Okay, they can create it from here, and before that, before they are going to create, consultant will create the consultants will create the background settings. Okay, Understood or any doubt? Understood the difference of,
Understood, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is basically the, okay. So this is basically the consultant and end users different. So some point of time, let's say if you are working in the implementation project, so first time SAP is going to used by the SAP users or business. So before they are going to use this, consultants will configure the system, all of the system that they want to use, let's say business or end users or let's say clients, they want to use it. So before they are going to use it, consultant will configure the system for them. After the system is ready, every let's say testing and everything will be done and will be successful. After that, end users can use this system. Okay, so how this system will use, we have already discussed in some classes, how you can configure and where you can configure. So that also we will discuss in some other classes, or after some classes we will be discussing about that also. Okay, I believe you have already seen the development system, testing system and the production system, so you know how to create the which data, or how to create the um, let's say how to configure the system as per the usage, right? So now this is all about the end users and the consultant. Now one more concept is there, that is a end user and a super user. Okay, so what is a end user and what is a super user? So normally, let's say end user is the, if we categorize them, let's say there is a junior clerk and there is a senior clerk and there is a manager will be there in a purchasing department. Let's take an example. So in the purchasing department, let's say a junior clerk. Okay, so they can only create the purchase order. Okay, they have the access to only create the purchase order. So if you are an end user, you will be having limited functionality, you will be having limited access to the T codes. You might have given one T code or two T code based on your working or your function. Okay, as per your designation or position, so you must be given 1 to 2 T codes. Let's say you are only given the purchase order creation and purchase requisition creation. Okay, you can only create. Okay, but you cannot change. So change access is not given to you. So once you have created anything, there is a issue. So you will not be able to rectify. Rather, you will ask someone with some change access. So now let's say the um let's say someone other, let's say the senior what we call senior accountant or senior uh, l- let's say accounts people who will be there. Okay, so sorry, senior purchase or someone will be there, so they will be having the change access. Okay, so here we can see, if we go to the favorites, so let's say here ME21 and is there, so this is for creating, this is ME22N is there, this is for changing. So let's say the junior clerk will be having access to ME21N, he will only be able to be create. Okay, everything he want to be able to be creating the purchase order. Now if something needs to be changes, something needs to be changed, he will not be able to access the T code of ME22N and he will not be able to perform any changes. For that one, there will be, let's say, ME22N access will be given to a senior people or senior purchaser or a senior um, you can say any kind of senior people are there, so they will be given this access. So if anything needs to be changed, or let's say anything needs to be let's say approved or anything, so they will be having that access. Okay, so based on that they will be having some access. So let's say if you guys are having some limited access, there will be a store manager will be there. Okay, or let's say there will be a department head will be there. So department head will be having all of the access, so they will be having the access of ME21 and ME22 and let's say this ME59, and this is the purchase requisition conversion. So they will be having most of the access for this main screen, front screen only. Okay, not for the SPRO access, but for the every access, like any creation access, any change access. So every access will be there for a manager rank of people or manager kind of people. So these kind of people are called the super users. Okay, so normally your junior clerk or your senior clerk, they are the end users. Simply they will be having the access of this limited T codes. They will not be having any further access. Let's say your manager kind of people, they will be having all of the access, plus they will be having the access to the, here we have seen the SAP landscape development, quality and production. So your end users, they will be having the access to only in the production system to some of the tickets, let's say one or two tickets. But your super users, they will be having all of the access in the production system, plus they will be having the quality access. Okay, why they need to have a quality access? Normally whenever you test some of the scenarios, let's say you have created a, you have configured a purchase order, now you have tested a purchase order, now you see the purchase order creation is working fine. Now someone from the business, they need to test it. So that's why someone from the business needs to have the access in the quality, because every testing needs to be done in the quality before they are moving to the production. So now due to this reason, your super users or your manager kind of people, they will be having the access to the quality system. Here they will be testing whatever things are required. So now whatever things are done or some change, if some changes have been done, so your super user, they can come into the quality system, they can log into here and they will be testing in here. So understand the concept of end user and super user. So super user is basically having some more access, some detailed access, and they can also have the access to the test environment or quality environment, where they can perform the testing also. So that is called a user acceptance testing. So what are the testings are there? We will be looking into it. Okay. So right now just understand, in the quality only test happen. So end users or super users also need to test the functionality before it is moving to the production. If everyone, let's say consultant is saying okay and the end users are saying okay, or the super users are saying whatever things have been done, it is okay, then only it will be moved to the production. Okay, so that is the functionality, and this is the work of the super users, end users and the consultant. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now let's understand some of the, uh, have we written the definitions of this one? Client, company code, client, company code. Have we written the definitions of this one? I believe we have done, right?
Sir.
Done, right?
Yes, sir.
Purchase organization and purchase.
Purchasing group we have not seen, right?
Yeah, and storage location also.
Okay. Okay. So we have come till this plant. Okay. So storage location is nothing but it is a storing area. Okay, where we can store some product. So it will be a part of your plant. Inside the plant you will be having some location. Okay, let's say some place, let's take an example, some place of your house, or let's say in your kitchen, you store some of the kitchen items. There will be some cupboards or some racks or something will be there where you are storing the items. So similarly, here in the business also, inside the plant there will be some location or some places will be there where you will be storing the items. Let's say based on the different types of products, you can have different storage location. So let's say you are having a raw material, you are having a finished material, you are having some semi finished material, or let's say you are having some um, trading goods, or you are having some let's say maintenance material. So based on the functionality, you can have different storage location. Okay, so storage location may be a building, may be let's say different buildings will be there as per your company, or as per your let's say business justification, how your clients are working. They might be using a building, or they might be using different buildings for different storage location. There is no issue into that. So it can be anything. It is just a storage location where you are storing the product. Okay, now purchasing organization is basically, they are the department who are responsible for purchasing any kind of material you are purchasing. That is responsibility of your purchasing organization. They discuss, or they what do you say, they negotiate with the uh, suppliers. Okay, so whatever suppliers, whoever suppliers will be there, they will be negotiating the terms and condition of the purchase with the suppliers, and they will be creating the terms and condition for the purchasing. Okay, so basically every purchase related information will be stored in the purchasing organization level, or they will be responsible about the procurement activity. Next one is purchasing group. So what is a purchasing group? Purchasing group is nothing but it is a group of buyers, or let's say one person might be there, or group of persons will be there, but these are the buyers. So these, if we say about the normal context, so let's say they are the people who are going outside, or who are going directly going to negotiate the terms and condition with the supplier. Let's say for raw material I will be having one buyer. Let's say for finished material I will be having one buyer. Okay, buyer means, if we say about the in general scenario, let's say in the sale, in the purchasing department, there will be some people will be there who will be going outside to create the sorry um, to negotiate with the suppliers that we need some raw material, or we need some finished semi-finished material, or we need some finished material. Okay, so these are the purchasing group are basically the buyers. So there is no like nothing details in it. These are basically the buyers who are responsible for the purchasing. Okay, if purchasing organization is a department, in that department there will be some group of people who are responsible for purchasing or buying. Okay, there might be one person might be there, or group of person will be there. Okay, it's a simple thing. Okay, and this purchasing group, this is not assigned to any of the organization structure. This is a let's say floating unit or floating entity, which can be used across the all organization. It can be used. Okay, if you are creating one purchasing group, that purchasing group can be able to buy for everyone. Okay, so that is the purchasing group. So now this is all about the today's class. I was going to start the SAP thing from today, but the system is not working, like the S4HANA system is not working. Let me fix that one in by tomorrow. If we fix by tomorrow, then we will be looking into it. The we will be starting the SAP screen. We will be starting the these configuration of this organization structure. We will be looking into it, how we can create the organization structure. Okay. So if you have any question, then ask it, or else we will be closing this session and we will be continuing again on tomorrow. Any questions? Any doubts?
Sir, I have asked about to share the service provider so that I can buy offline. So,
You want to have a offline server, right? Yeah, ping me after
yeah,
this class.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.